Rebirth's Edge Wellness, I had crippling panic attacks and really bad anxiety. And it was daily, where I couldn't feed myself. My sleep was terrible, and pretty much every space in my body just felt awful. When I have panic attacks, they look like I'm losing both ends. So I go to the bathroom a lot, I'm vomiting a lot, and it's uncontrollable. It just keeps happening. I can sweat through clothes, layers of clothes. I can change my clothes 5 times a day, and they will be soaked like I was in a rainstorm. And dissociation, really bad, like leaving my body. I wouldn't even know that my body was like alive anymore. You could pick me up and put me down, and I would just be so scared. Everything would be spinning. I wouldn't say I had an eating disorder, I would say I had disordered eating, because I don't have a body image part about it, but I had such a hard time eating. I had such a hard time being safe while eating anything. So that affected me no matter what. I would look at food and immediately be sent to the bathroom with hot flashes, soaking wet, a phone call from my mother, or a phone call at all. It would completely like paralyze me to the point where I was like, this is the end. I can't breathe anymore. A decision of, we're driving down the road, do I want to put the window down? Am I strong enough to put that window down? Will that wind hurt me so much that I will feel sick to my stomach? Literally everything that I could think of was coming in at once before I started this program. I was just being smothered by all of the ways that my body was reacting to the way that my mind was going. And I'd been dealing with it since probably like 4 or 5 years old, as long as I can remember. My husband's probably the most primary person that I affect when I have panic attacks or when I'm in any kind of activation of my emotions, especially when I can't do anything for myself. He's got to learn how to deal with a nonverbal Katie. He's got to learn how to do the things that I would need him to do because I'm not functioning enough to get my weighted blanket out. It affects my mother and my father because they feel bad that their daughter that they love is suffering and going through a lot of pain. They've watched it and they've wanted to help me for so long, and they've never really been able to help me either. I know that my coworkers probably have to endure some things because my emotions can go like roller coasters, but it's not the depressive kind. It's like, oh, something yucky touched my hand and now I am crying and I am unable to speak. Or, I ate the piece of cake had coffee in it and I think that coffee is going to poison me. So I will then start like sweating and throwing up and not being able to contain it because coffee is inside my body. My coworkers are they're like, what's going on? Are you okay? And it's just because, the temperature changed. It's really difficult. My best friends, anybody, whenever they're like, where have you been? And I'm like, sorry, I've just been having my panic attacks for weeks. The spontaneity in me was gone. So my friends would be like, hey, do you want to go hang out? And I'd be like, absolutely not. I cannot predict what's going to happen. I don't feel comfortable, and I cannot. And I would have to take myself out from any kind of social event, any kind of like sporting event, anything. If it meant I was going to be outside, I didn't feel safe. So it just really affected absolutely everybody that was in my life, to the point of my cats. I have 2 of them, but one is like really close with me. And so whenever I start to have panic attacks, she has an upset era too. So she starts meowing and howling, and she's in and out of the litter box when I'm in and out of the litter box. And I feel like so bad sometimes because I'm almost like, we're so close. Am I giving you this energy? I know cats are spiritual. I like to believe that. And so I feel like it even affects them. My pets, my ability to take care of my pets, my ability to take care of myself, my ability to have a nice time with my husband, my ability to talk to my mom on the phone or call my sisters. Anything was really affected. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who was going to be able to help me with that, because it seemed like a lot of my therapists before really couldn't. I did talk therapy in high school, didn't really have a great success with that, And then all throughout college, I was with talk therapy. My university offered that, so I used that consistently. I had spent so much of my time talking about how my feelings were going and talking about what it felt like and describing my past and describing things, and I felt kind of tired, and I felt like I couldn't talk about it anymore. And that talking about it was just like, okay, I've been there, I've heard this story, but I still feel the same way. So I needed something that was more than just talking. I almost felt desperate, and I was really seeking like somebody that could say like, yeah, that makes sense and that sucks. Like, I understand what you're going through. You're not crazy, because I really felt like all the things that I was feeling were so much. And I almost felt like no one was going to be able to understand what I was feeling. Until I talked to Yoni. And I felt seen for like the first time. When I talked to Yoni, I was like, this is the place. Like, this is the place where I'm not gonna be too much and not enough at the same time, which is the theme that I've been dealing with. This is the place that's gonna receive me and be like, yeah, that makes sense. And that sucks. Like, you don't gotta be like that. It was definitely the place for me. I mean, I did my work with talk therapy, but wow, the results that I've had from this has been crazy different than what I've dealt with through the multiple times that I've gone through with talk therapy. I think coming into my body was one of the biggest steps that I needed to take, because I had avoided my body for so long and avoided any of the messages my body was telling me, like, oh, you're hungry. That was never a message that had ever been received by me, or you're thirsty, maybe you should sleep. Or like, hey, it seems like you're getting a little annoyed right now. Maybe you could breathe for a second, shake it off. I wouldn't recognize that until, halfway into my tantrum or something, and then I'd be like, oh. But now I can almost start to like feel the different changes inside of my body, and I'd be like, oh, that seems off. Sometimes I can pinpoint it, sometimes I can't. But I could be like, that feels off. Let me pay attention to that. Let me go have some breathing. Or I've learned that if I want to go hang out with my friends, if I want to go do something spontaneous, I've got to take care of myself first, which is something I never knew that I wasn't even doing. So taking care of myself, it looks like eating. It looks like eating something that would fuel me for the activity that I'm supposed to do, which I didn't know how to do that. And I had avoided food for so long. Slowly learning how to introduce foods back into my body again. Slowly learning how to taste things that I like and be like, oh yeah, I feel confident enough to say, I do like this or I don't like this. Being able to pause and pivot, as Yoni has said, I felt like I was really headstrong going into almost everything and things were just happening. Instead of I was making choices to get me a result. Now I can make choices. I want results, or I want to take care of myself, rather than being like, oh, the whole day down the road at 11 o'clock at night, I haven't eaten one single thing today. That's probably why I don't feel good. That doesn't really happen that much anymore, because I notice when I wake up, like, oh, I should feed myself to have the good day. Now it's almost like a habit where I feel I want to have a full stomach. I want to go out and look at new foods. It's exciting for me to be to my husband, let's go on a date. I've learned how to make myself feel safe when I'm going out to eat at a new restaurant. Maybe not go so hungry and eat a little bit so I can feel okay to try new things. Or being outside and being able to feel my body from my toes to my fingertips and shake things out and smell the pine needles or the grass and bring myself back into myself before going on to the next experience. Because normally I would just keep coasting and go on to the experiences and they'd just be so overwhelming. I've learned how to slow down so much more than how fast-paced I was really going and not really acknowledging me. And it's taken this team, honestly, to bring my eyes to that, to the fact that I can make choices and to get comfortable with making choices for me, because I wasn't making any choices based off of my own behalf before either. They were almost based out of survival. And now my choices are based off of, like, what do I want? What would I like? Not, am I going to die there? Or will I survive at this place? What can I set up to make sure that I'm gonna be okay? Now it's like, I'll be okay because I know what to do when I'm not okay. Or I'll be able to catch myself when I'm not okay. I think that this is the place where I'm gonna find a lot of the answers, a lot of the things that I've been seeking within myself that no one, I feel like, has ever had the answers for. You guys aren't giving me the answers, Earth's Edge isn't giving me the answers, but you're giving me the strength and the ability to look at myself and be like, oh, I've got the answers. It is me. Like, what do I want? I've definitely become more grounded. I move more slowly. My brain allows pauses to happen before maybe my mouth opens or my body starts moving. Not feeling so fearful about my next choice, my next movement, or where will I be tomorrow, or where will I be tonight. I feel like I've stepped into my power a little bit more, where I can recognize like I have control over certain aspects of me, and that's not just about the food that goes into my body. It's allowed me to be more secure in uncertainty than I ever thought was possible, because uncertainty is very scary to me. I love knowing what's going to happen when. And now, yeah, I would like to know, but I don't. And I've been able to take it and go with the flow and be a little bit more like the wind rather than trying to be the rock against the wind. I did have some doubts, mostly just because I have been trying programs and been trying therapists and trying different ways of releasing and thinking about how I ended up here and what my story is and things like that. So yeah, I was definitely hesitant into saying okay for the program, but how could there not be doubt when you failed so many times? It was nice that I had the first initial meeting with Yoni and got to meet him and do a little bit of a trial and see like what I was going to be doing. And as soon as I had that one first trial, I was like, yep, it's solidified. I know exactly that this is what I want to be doing. And after every appointment, I would come back with like a shining face being like, there is hope. Like, I see what's going to happen. Like, I touched it today. I touched like I was able to relax today. What? I am not a big active person, and I've never really done a yoga class except for online by myself. And wow, it's not what I expected it to be. It's not really what I found the internet to tell me it was to be either. I really like the lightness and the comfortability of the way that Mahadev teaches these classes. I've never really felt more inside my body than I have since I've started doing all of these body movements and recognizing like placements and how I can control different things. I like being able to feel myself in my body compared to what the other yogas that I had been doing. My experience with Mahadev has been really warm and welcoming. To be in his presence is really to just feel calm. That is a really unique experience, especially for someone like me. He has the ability to sit and see you, to hear what you have to say, and also be able to guide you in a way that can elevate what you're already doing. Like, he is not trying to take anything away from me or being like, this is bad, that's a bad habit. He's more like, okay, well, can we add something to this? Can we do it a different way? And it's almost like he's been able to show me that the guidance is inside of myself as well. Like, I have got answers and I am in control. When I have like a Reiki session with Mahadev, the elevation of where I'm at, of relaxation, it's like he can take this out and like just take my brain out and almost just soothe it. I have fantastic naps afterwards and sleep really well. I feel like my mind is able to like steady and calm itself. I also really enjoy how silly and fun that Mahadev is. Like, he makes really good jokes and they're super clever. He's always able to like bring in different experiences from other things that aren't just like his own experiences, and he can remember things that I've said to him maybe once months ago, and he can recall it and bring it back into like a current session, which I think is really nice because I feel super seen. I feel paid attention to. And it's not like he's reading from a notebook about me from every session we've ever had. He just sees me as a human being that he's spent time with and acknowledges me as a human being. And I love that. It's kind of cool to feel so fun and lighthearted while also working on something that's so important inside of myself. Working with with Chelsea has been very fun and very interesting. Almost feels like I'm catching up with one of my girlfriends when I talk to her, because I'm like, girl, I cannot eat this, or I have tried this and it's just like way too much. And she'll respond and she's lighthearted too, which is really fun. She has been able to let me look at things in a different way about eating than I've ever looked at eating before. She makes me feel safe in the world of food. She makes me feel excited about being able to eat, which I really hadn't felt in a long time. Or learn how to explore that, or get creative, or also just accept that it's me. And I had such a hard time accepting that, yeah, I don't like certain foods, or I don't like certain textures. And instead of continuously telling myself that I am broken, or I am wrong, or there's something that needs to be done, she was always there being like, no, girl, you eat what you want, and just helping me feel so much more comfortable in things that I want, not what the world is telling me I should want. When I first met Yoni, he was very warm and welcoming and really relaxed. And I keep saying this, but like everything here is really relaxed, where you do feel like you're my friends. I do feel like I'm coming out just to like hang out and do a little thing and then go back to my life. With Yoni, it almost feels like he's my friend, because he updates me on his stuff and I'll update him on mine. So it doesn't feel like we're all in business meetings and I need to like get approved by what I'm saying. Yoni has made everything really cozy and friendly and like nonchalant at the same time. He's able to work with changes, any kind of scheduling change or any type of like other change. Like, hey, I'm having a panic attack right now. And he's like, cool, I'll get you on the phone in a minute. And he's able to talk through that with me. Well, if I decided to not choose Earth's Edge Wellness, I think I really would have been most likely in a hospital somewhere, because I was so unable to feed myself. I was so unstable, and not really just mentally. Like, yeah, mentally it was a scary space and I had a lot going on, but it was really, I couldn't control my body. I couldn't control the endless shaking or the endless like nervous system wanting to relax, and it couldn't. My healing journey is not linear, and nor is it over, because we're all alive. It's all hard sometimes. And I do feel like as though I made a lot of good friendships here and a lot of good connections where I could just be like, hey, I really want to see you again, or I really have this like question, this thing has been bubbling inside of me, I need to speak to Mahadev, or I need to talk to Chelsea about something. They're like, yeah, that's cool. What do you need? Like, send an email right away, or we'll call you, we'll set up a time. And I feel like they're friends that I've found that have been able to help me along this journey that I found myself on. I was really surprised by how familiar we would get with each other. I was really surprised by how comfortable things would end up being, because I am so used to clinical psychology stuff, just going like straight in, having a meeting. You're not here on time, we're deducting this, or you didn't show up, you're out of the program. Like, I did not expect to come into a family. I didn't expect everyone to be good friends with each other, and they all have the same goal and wanting to help me, and they work together to get me there. And I was just really surprised by that, because that doesn't happen. I would have to go somewhere else for a nutritionist. I would have to go somewhere else for yoga, and they wouldn't know each other. They wouldn't know how to help me. That is the coolest thing, and I wish that everyone could take advantage of that. It's awesome. My sister developed eating disorders like bulimia, anorexia. She's doing all sorts of drugs. So I grew up watching her have eating disorders, her being like, hey, I'm gonna throw up, you wanna watch me? Like, awful things. And I wish that this was something that I could give to her. I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her in years. When I found this place, I was like, dang, I would strap Ellen to my body and bring her here, because I can't imagine how much this would help her. This place is awesome. Thank you. I miss her so much. Oh, if my sister, if she saw this video, I would say, come on out and try it, because I think this program would help you so much. I have no doubt in my mind that this would be the place that would be able to help her with that, where she would finally be seen, where she would finally be heard, unlike any other program that I think I've witnessed before. There's so many different kinds of issues out there, and it really stinks to have an eating one. It really stinks to have a panic attack disorder, especially if it's debilitating in your everyday life. If it stops you from working, if it stops you from going out and having a fun time, if it stops you from being able to grocery shop or call your mom. Like, your life is worth living. Making all these positive changes has really helped the quality of my life. Before Earth's Edge, I was afraid of absolutely everything. Like the sun and the moon, temperatures, you name it, send me right into a panic. It's really changed my life, and in the best way. I cannot stress it more how much of a difference these past months have altered the direction of where I'm going. I was on a totally different path, and it was not a healthy one. And now I have beautiful things to look at and eat and do, and I'm not afraid of them. I embrace them. And it's really been hard to do that up until now. So I can't thank Earth's Edge Wellness enough for being able to help me, because I'm not having the hardest day of my life every single day anymore.